Hello, this is a quick guide to the Glassway Grandmaster Nightfall. This Grandmaster Nightfall has anti-barrier and overload champions. It also only has arc and solar shields. It says void, but I think that's patrol. So you only really have to worry about arc and solar. There's arc harpies in the boss room and a couple of solar heavy shanks in the draining section. It also has void burns, so we're doing extra void damage and also taking more void damage. I'm bringing an Omniomacy Warlock with the stasis turret build. So extra stasis turrets. I'm using that in conjunction with the overload mod, which actually causes your turrets to do overload damage as well, and they actually stun overload champs and can stun lock them. It's really good. Also got weaken clear and lucent finisher. So I'm using wish ender for my anti-barrier. I've got a grenade launcher, a blinding grenade launcher. This helps me deal with the wyverns really well, as you'll see in the boss room, and also a void heavy rocket. Reops is bringing a similar build to mine with the Omniomacy Stasis Warlock, but he's got Arblers for anti-barrier, bringing a funnel web for the overload, and another Void Rocket. And then Apple is bringing a Void Titan. He's got Galahorn to buff our Void Rocket so we can do more damage to all the champions and things that we kill. He's also got anti-barrier bow and bringing another blinding grenade launcher to deal with the wyverns.
Or Elizabeth. Whatever works.
Okay, Elizabeth it is. But I prefer Ghost. So, what's our plan?
Despite our best efforts, the Vex gate within remains active thanks to Eramis. Destroying it loses us a vital link to the Vex. A story for another time, perhaps. For now, we need to
So our first
focus on
overload
stopping
champion's going to be
any
up
further
here.
incursions from the portal.
It'll just be one overload by himself and a few invis adds that we need to take care of. You have to watch out for the invis enemies. You can kill them first. The overload doesn't really push you. It usually just stays kind of back. So you can kill the enemies first and then deal with the overload champion. As you move forward here, this is when the next adds will spawn from behind there. So we've got a couple of shanks, but then these sniper vandals are the ones you really have to worry out for. And as you continue to move forward and jump across this island, there'll be two more sniper vandals. One on the left here and one that jumps over from down there. Now, this section here, I like to stay up top, so don't drop down, because then it splits up the spawns. You only get the first overload spawn here. The anti-barrier spawns when you drop down, so if you just wait up here, you can kill the overload and the first wave of adds before dropping down and then getting the second wave with the anti-barrier. The reason I like to do this is the anti-barrier... Oh, this guy's frozen. The anti-barrier sometimes shields the overload, which can make it kind of annoying. About to. Luckily stasis is doing a great job of just freezing everything anyway. So we've got two stasis warlocks, kinda not making it a problem, but yeah, if you do what I said and just stay up top, you can deal with each champion one at a time. And the next section, again, we want to stay back here. As soon as you cross the halfway point up there with those kind of rock pillars are, that's when the anti-barrier spawns. So we can just stay back here for now. Deal with the overload first. And all the snipers. A few sniper vandals. I think they're all gone now. As you can see, the stasis turrets, whenever we break them out of the stasis, it stuns them again. So, stasis turrets are doing a great job of stun locking that champion. Throw another turret back there to keep him in place. Right. With him dead, one thing I like to do, I've got wolf pack rounds, so I'm just going to jump up here, shoot a rocket at that spawn there. This kills like most of the enemies that just spawned. And now we can deal with the servitor. See, all of them are dead. We get the finisher, so we can get some more heavy ammo back. Now on to the next section. Similar idea in the next section, where if you go too far forward you get the anti-barrier spawn. So we're going to stay back again. There is a strategy where if you jump down, it spawns the enemies. You can jump back up, if Apple doesn't want to kill me. And you can actually stay up here and just kill all the snipers and things from afar. It does make it safer. But it can be annoying trying to get all the kills and staying here as a group. So if you're feeling confident, you can just drop down. But just make sure you don't go past this pillar here, because if you go past that big pillar up here, that's what spawns the anti-barrier. So you want to try and take out the boss and the overload before that happens. The boss is dead. Got the overload there now as well. We're going for a finisher, but I know the anti-barrier is going to spawn when we move forward anyway, so I'm going to worry about that. Try to take care of all the ads. There's a lot of snipers and stuff that the servitor protects, but using your supers goes through the tether that the servitor creates. I'm going to try and get another finisher so we can get our heavy back.
Here we are again, cleaning up another of Clovis Bray's messes.
I'm sure wherever he is, he's laughing at us. He's the reason all this is here in the first place. The darkness told him to build the portal. It's his fault the Vex invaded. His fault so many people died. I did everything I could to help.
If you run through here and the ads don't start spawning, it's because you kind of skipped a load zone, so you might have to just go back to make sure they spawn if you ever have that issue. Otherwise, I like sticking on the left-hand side here, taking care of the dregs and the shanks. You move further forward and we'll start getting the bandle spawns. We've got another guy behind there. Wish End is amazing in this, by the way. Even later on in the boss room you'll see. You get to look through walls, see where wyverns are that are approaching you, things like that. The ability for Wish Ender to look through walls is very underrated for this particular kind of thing anyway. We've got snipers on the far side you want to watch out for, and obviously this overload nearby. Looks like they're going for a finisher. Gonna get more snipers as we move forward. And when you jump over this gap, that's what spawns the Overload champion. And it's moving past kind of where Reops is there, which spawns the ads down the back for snipers as well. So if you wanted, you can stay a bit lower without spawning the snipers in, but just be aware of how far you and your team are moving, so you know if they've spawned or not. As soon as you touch the plate up here, it spawns the barricade, so just try and make sure your team has made it up the ramp before you stand on. And you can do this section as slow as you want, dealing with each wave of enemies. If your team's worried about, survivability, you can just capture a little bit of the plate, then move off it, deal with that wave of ads before then getting back on for the next wave. Makes it a lot more manageable. Even our team just then, we did 2 waves of enemies. You can see the percentage is up to 23. So if you wanted, you can just do small captures at a time, even just like 10% at a time. get off again. We're going to get some snipers soon because we have the 2 heavy shanks already, which means we're about to get the snipers. You can see the vandals. Again, being back here is quite safe behind these 2 blocks. You do get some shanks that do push up, but obviously you can deal with them as a team as they approach you. Looks like all those snipers dead. Do a little bit more capture and we're going to get the 2 snipers on the right with their shanks. Alright, they're spawning now. Alright, another capture and we're going to get the exploder shanks. Again on left and then right. There's also some sniper shanks that can spawn with them as well. You can see at the back there the tracer shanks. Want to take care of them quite early so they can do a lot of damage. Alright, that's it. Gonna have an overload spawn here. Can spawn on different sides. Looks like it spawned left this time. Looks like it's dodging our stasis. When you go too far forward, it's what spawns more ads. Also, if you kill everything, it can spawn more as well. You can see the next vandals have already spawned though. Too many dregs have died. The next spawns happened. You just want to be careful of the vandals. None of them are snipers yet, but their arc weapons do a lot of damage still, the tracer shots. The heavy shank especially does a lot of damage because it's shooting void guns and void burns on. You do want to be careful of that and try and take it out when you can. As you move further forward, we're going to get the snipers that are now spawned at the back. There's 2 snipers on each side. When you kill a couple of them though, the rest of them jump down. You can see the vandal just jump down. They go hang out towards the back. So we're probably going to have those 2 snipers now hanging back there. You can deal with them right here. Get a good angle on them. We just have the Overload champion here before we start the boss fight. In the boss room, I always like hanging out on the left room. I don't like the right room just because of the radiolaria in there. It's a bit smaller as well, which makes it a bit more cramped. I like the left room's hallway. Creates a good funnel for killing all the enemies. Especially with the stasis turret builds that we're running. We're relying on the turrets to help us kill a lot of the Overload champions. So what we're going to do on this side is kind of hang back in these rooms here. We're going to deploy the turrets kind of in front of us, so we're going to let the enemies come through the hallway a bit to around here before they get frozen, and then we can kill them with our rockets. We should have plenty of rockets as well, because Galahorn and the ability to finish a bunch of the enemies. You can feel free to push this Hydra. It is going to start the spawn of more enemies though, but you do want to get rid of it so then it's not shooting you in the back. We've killed 1 Overload, we've got this one here, and then 2 more coming behind it. Try and get a finisher on the last Overload though. more heavy back. Now, way to deal with the big boss. There is a way to get him into a nice spot on the left-hand side here, where he just sits right in front of the doorway, and you can do free damage to him. So you just kind of need to bait him up. I like to sit back in the room, not too far forward. It usually gets him to come right up. There he goes. Just need to wait for his shield to turn around. You can either use your heavies or your primaries. He does sometimes move back down, but if you just wait here, he'll come back up. There's a way to do damage to him without having to worry about being killed yourself. Very safe. I don't know why Wish Hand anti-barrier doesn't go through his shield. Alright, once we get him to a third health though, it's going to spawn the next wave, which is going to be Wyverns. Now the way we deal with Wyverns is we're going to immediately go out the left-hand doorway to kill the first one. And we'll deal with the second one when it comes up the hallway in the middle. Boss is nearly there. Goes. Alright, so immediately go out the left here. We're just going to use our rockets together as soon as the Wyvern spawns. We're just going to shoot. Just kill the first Wyvern. Now we can go back to the middle. And get ready for the second one. Now blinding grenades help a lot. They blind not only the Wyvern but also the Hydra. You can see it out there. Trying to let it get a little bit closer so it's easier to shoot with the rockets. There we go, throws as well. Got the Wyvern coming through the hallway. It's definitely finishable. When we start pushing the Hydra, we want to completely get rid of it, then we don't have to worry about it anymore. Do we have any Galahorn? I like to deal with the snipers later. You can either kill them now or later, it doesn't really matter. I usually don't like the Hydra being there to be able to shoot us in the back though, personally. So yeah, I'd rather shoot the Hydra now. About to spawn reinforcements, so it goes. Alright, stasis supers are really good against the Wyverns, by the way. Even if they start coming in here, we can freeze them. We might have one going to our left. Yeah, stasis is so strong in this GM Nightfall. You can even use that against the Overload champions as well and just keep freezing them while your teammates kill them. Now we do have 4 anti-barriers alive. We didn't kill any earlier, but this angle here, I like to stand in this middle angle still. You can take on one at a time. You can peek them nicely like this. Teleported to the side. Now we do want to try and get some more finishes for heavy. So our team might have used a lot of our rockets. I'm lucky I've had a few drops, but they might not be as lucky. couple heavy for later now too. Quickly get back inside because we're going to have 2 overloads, the big boss. You can try and insta-kill the overload again on the side, but we don't have divinity and stuff, makes that a lot easier. One person with div and a few rockets can kill the first. But we'll just let them both come down the hallway here. Go, they're both dead. Yeah, just stunning them with the stasis. And a couple of rockets easily takes them out. Now we can deal with the boss again. And bait him up into this spot here. Sometimes he doesn't like going in here later on. It's easy to get him here early, but when his health gets lower, he sometimes doesn't like it as much. Vex reinforcements, so we've got 2 more overloads coming. So they're taking their time. We do have to be careful behind us, I think, as well. Feeling was coming behind us. Got some more heavy before we push the boss. Again, we can try and bait the boss into the spot. I find if you stand too far forward, he sometimes doesn't like going in there. Further back usually works. And then sometimes he gets a bit scared. Looks like it's working fine this time though. Go. Alright, again, Wyverns. So we're coming out the left doorway for the Wyvern to spawn. Dead. You go to middle for the next one and the mini Hydra. Got my blinding nade ready. There's a few different strategies. Some people like killing the big Hydra first before the little one. I do the little one. I just like making this room safe. I find it works a little bit better, but might find other teams wanting to do a different strategy.
Guardian down.
Yeah. Got the Wyvern dead. So now when we kill the Hydra, it's going to spawn more Wyverns. You could kill the anti-barriers now as well if you wanted the first 2, but again, I just like getting rid of the Hydra, making our room here safe. As soon as it dies, the next 2 Wyverns are going to spawn. Now we didn't really use Wish Ender like this, where you can see enemies through the walls as much. And also another secret of it is what I just did there. One shot with Wish Ender stuns them into their like, you know, the crit spot in the middle shows up and stuff like that. The Wish Ender works so good on Wyverns for those reasons. Right, I got plenty of heavy, so I'm gonna feel free to use some now. That's the other. One more. Oh, there it is. Right, now we just need to kill the boss. Again, we can try and get the boss into the spot, or start shooting him from wherever you are. We can clear on him with the GL launcher first. Alright, make sure you like and subscribe to the video.
That's the last of it.
Don't forget there's more GM guides for all the GMs available on my channel as well. Thank you all for watching. Bye!